All right, what's up, Jose? What's up, my friend? We are here on the Vamos Rundown. Thank you for joining me, man. Appreciate
Of
it.
course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so Jose, I want to just let the people know a little bit about you before we just start jumping into it. I've known you for quite some time now. Back in your high school days, you were a freshman at Lincoln High School in San Jose. The reason why I know you so well is because you actually ran with my younger sister, who was on your track team at Lincoln. So that was awesome. And I kind of got a front row seat to see your development, from your freshman year all the way to where you're at now. So really admire your journey, man. And it's been remarkable to see. So, you know, I've always thought of that. I mean, right when I saw you, I think the first meet, my sister was a 400, 800-meter runner at Lincoln. So I'd go to all her meets. I'm a big fan of my sister, so I'd go to her meets. And then I would watch you, and I'm like, who is this little kid? And when you were a little kid, I'm saying,
Yeah,
when
I was.
you're like, yeah, I was like, who is this guy? And then every year you just got better and better and better. And then senior year is where you just really took off. You had PRs in the 2 mile, like 9:11.
Yeah,
I think your mile was 4:17. Like
yeah.
you developed into not only one of the top in the section, but one of the top in the state. And then me being a Spartan alumni and cross country alumni at San Jose State, I saw that you signed with San Jose State, and that was just like icing on the cake for me. So I was always just following your journey ever since then. And then just to let the people know, Jose quickly became, in my eyes, like an instant legend at San Jose State, one of the greatest distance runners at San Jose State. You were the first Spartan to make the NCAA D1 cross country championships in like 32 years. So that's amazing. That's like post Speed City days. So it was a long time coming for that. But and with that, I mean, to make that meet, it's extremely difficult as an individual. But that race at the Western Regionals, a little later, I want to talk about that because that seems like an epic race. I mean, you ran a remarkable time, and the field was just like extremely stacked. So I can't wait to talk about that part of it. But like aside from running, another thing I really admire about Jose and you, of course, is just your balance and approach to life. You're a man of faith. You come up from a great family. You're a man of many talents. You have musical talents, and I'm sure other, things that you dip into. So I'd love to hear about that as well. And I mean, you're still running. So right now, I think you're running. What club are you running with right now? Is it
Renegade running.
Renegade? Awesome, awesome. So yeah, like I said, man, I mean, just your body of work so far and what you've accomplished every year, and just keep growing as a person and as an athlete. It's been really remarkable to see, man. So,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
yeah, no problem. So let's kick things off with, how did you get into running? I know your dad was a coach, and you've been running from a young age. So how did that development, and what did that look like?
Yeah, so it started when we moved to this country. So I was born in Mexico, and then when we
Yeah,
came to this country, my dad started running road races. He started training. It was more. I used to play soccer back then, so I used to do
nice.
soccer and then run with my dad. But
Yeah,
eventually, he told me, like, just choose one or the other.
yeah,
When he would go to his road races, just to make the story quick, he would go up to the podium to receive his awards, and I would go up with him, like, to receive his award. And then eventually, I started wanting. I got the curiosity of wanting to get my own awards, so I started racing 5Ks, eventually 10Ks, and then
yeah.
um, I just ran a couple. Like, I remember seventh and eighth grade, I ran a couple of track races, local track races, and it went well. I was part of the Hershey's track meet.
Yeah,
Uh,
yep, yeah.
yeah, and so it was. I ran the mile, and from there is when I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna stick to running. So ever since,
Nice. That's cool. Yeah, I think we share like similarities in that sense. I grew up a soccer player and just love for soccer, and I still love soccer. And I mean, it's still my heart when it comes to team sports and just like what I was raised on. But there was just something about running that I like. I like the accomplishment of that. So how old were you when you came from here to the United States from Mexico?
yeah, I was about 6 years old. So
6 years old. Okay, nice. Yeah, that's awesome, man. And then your dad, he's pretty accomplished runner himself and a coach. Would you say that your dad's one of your idols and had a pretty big impact on your life from that sense?
Yeah, definitely, because he came from a background of, he used to live a different life, like more with like alcohol and just different lifestyle, parents growing up back then. It's just different
Yeah,
lifestyle we did.
yeah,
And changed his life to pretty much give my brother and I at the moment. Now we have a
mhm,
sister, a younger sister,
yeah,
but back then his mentality was to change his lifestyle so we can get a better future. So he did that, and he was my coach actually growing up.
yeah.
He
Great.
got
Yeah, I know your dad is, like I said, he's an awesome athlete, awesome coach. I actually had the privilege of training with him a little bit. I was training for my first Boston Marathon, and I came out to a few of your guys' practices with Team Piña. And man, I just love just the authenticness of that training session. I mean, one, of course, you're doing running specific workouts, but you're also adding in a lot of just full body cross training, kind of just like soccer-esque type workouts in a sense. And the one thing that I take away with me that I still use today from your dad's workouts, actually, when I went to those workouts, is the jump roping. When for like a long, not jump roping in place, but like 2 miles, like you just go with the jump rope, and that's just so good for your form, for your core, just full body. That I add that in. That's like something that I've never seen people do that I actually learned from you guys. I think it's just awesome. You're in good hands and raised well, and your dad's an amazing man. So I know that, of course, he's had some struggles early on in life, but he developed a wonderful family. I mean, yourself, your brother, your sister, your mom, you guys are a wonderful family, and I'm really thankful that you guys have that you've met my family as well. So we think the world of you guys. So
thank you. We think the same of you guys.
yeah, yeah, awesome. So outside of running, what's like a day in the life with Jose? So I know that you do a lot of other things. Could you tell us a little about yourself outside of running?
Yeah. So after college, it kind of varied. It changed in the sense that right after college, I started working at a clinic. So I was an assistant for a bit at a clinic. In college, I majored in public health and minored in child development. So
Nice,
I was
nice.
in a clinic. I was like a clinic assistant for iHealth Labs for a company. And so I was working from 8 to 5 p.m. Yeah, 8 in the morning to 5 p.m. And I was training before work and then after work.
Yeah.
It was tough, but eventually I switched jobs. I focused a little more on the running part, and then I got a tutoring job, like a private tutoring job with one of my college professors. His kid, I actually like help him out with baseball, and then his like I tutor him in his math, science, so whatever he needs help with, like school. And then, but now I'm still tutoring him, and now I got a job as a track head coach and a cross country head coach at a Harker
Oh,
middle
nice.
school and lower school. Yeah, so it's a
Yeah,
public
that's
school.
like
I mean,
Saratoga area, kind of like kind of near Saratoga, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the high. So the high school is in near Saratoga, and then the middle school and lower school they're in San Jose, like
Okay.
Campbell area.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Um, I play mariachi. So I was playing mariachi. I've been doing mariachi for a long time. I
You're
used
pretty
to.
good too, man. I've heard you sing, and you're really good.
Yeah, I don't do it as much anymore now. I just help them out here and there. But I quit. I didn't fully quit, but I kind of backed off because I wanted to focus on running. Because now I'm with. I joined the Renegade Elite,
Yeah.
and so now I'm running with them for their team. And so it has to be a balance because for
Yeah.
mariachi would we'd play every weekend, and let's say I had a workout on Saturdays or like a 15-mile long run on Sundays, and then I had like a 10-hour shift with mariachi on Saturday and another
Oh
10
man.
on Sunday. So it was a lot. It was
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot
Yeah.
on the body. And so yeah, I'm usually my day usually consists of just waking up, eating something light of breakfast, going on a run, doing my training, come back. I'm also working on a side project. I'm trying to do like my own nonprofit and create like my own road race. to try to
Nice.
promote health and overall wellness for Latinos specifically, but
Yeah,
for anyone in general. So that's taking some time for me to do, but I'm learning about it and I'm going through the process. So that's sort of like a side project that I have. And then so I work on that after my trainings, and then before I go to work, then I work on that. Then I go to work, my coaching job, and come back. Either I train again or just spend time with family. So it's
that's awesome, man.
pretty relaxed right now.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I'm curious to see how that 5K, or is it a 5K that you're developing? Is that what
Yeah,
it is?
yeah. 5K. The goal is to do it November 2nd. It's gonna be called the Piña 5K. But
Nice.
it's be like the theme is gonna be Dia de los Muertos.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
it's at that time. So
Yeah. Is it going to be held in San Jose?
yeah, in San Jose. Yeah.
Nice.
So I'll put out
Nice.
more
Keep me
details.
posted, man. I would love to join and just support in any way I can. That would be
Course,
awesome.
of
That'd be
course.
awesome. Cool, man. Well, that's awesome. I know, and like you're a man of many talents. Like I said, I mean, you're an awesome singer, awesome guitarist. I've heard you play, so stick with that. I mean, not necessarily you don't have to be doing mariachi sessions every time, but I'm sure you're still playing every now and then. So
Yeah, it
that's
helps.
cool, man.
It's not when you're tired from running or work. It helps de-stress sometimes.
I'm sure, man. Definitely. Cool. So let's shift gears a little bit back to San Jose State. Go Spartans. Let's talk about just. I mean, you had an amazing career there, and I mean, we could talk about your whole career, but I really want to focus on 2016, if you don't mind. I was watching that team. It just seemed like you guys had an amazing team. You guys were coached by Coach Wick, right? I think that was your coach at that time. Yeah, and the reason I kind of know how Coach Wick is, my sister was actually coached by him at Boise State, and then he
Right.
went to San Jose. So there's always like a connection. But it seems like in the span he was there, he just grew the team. And with you leading the way, I mean, you're obviously the leader of that team, and leading the team in pretty much almost every race. Um, but it seems like top to bottom, like his call it 1 through 5, even 1 through 7, you guys were pretty strong. I mean, probably the most talented San Jose State has been in a long time. I mean, when I was there, we had 1, 2, or 3 guys, and then there was a major drop off. Just before we get into Western regionals and all that, what do you think? Why was the team so successful? What was the culture like, and how did that impact your success as well?
Yeah, I think during those years, especially I started 2015 with the team that we had. I think Coach Wick created a culture of discipline, and then like a very strong team aspect where we held each other accountable. We weren't always perfect with like training and but
Yeah,
we we started growing that like family bond and that pretty much discipline. Because
yeah,
when you from high school to college, it's a different training system. It's a different routine with school, and some of the guys had jobs aside from like school and running, so they had
mm-hmm.
to handle all of that. I remember, yeah, we kept each other accountable, and I think just when we got to the racing part, we saw it was like the real deal. So when we race, we would come back to training. We're like, we have to like try harder and really focus so that we can do well. Because we actually, as a team, now that you mentioned, we for the Bronco Invitational for cross country, we won 2 years in a row that
Yeah.
meet, and so it was a reflection of how strong the bond was within our team.
Yeah, that's awesome. And even at West Regionals, I mean, you guys finished, I think, 11th place, which is remarkable in that region. I mean, that region is stacked, and you guys were in there with all the Pac-12 schools and just right in the mix. So I mean, yeah, that was an amazing year and fun to see, and just watching the videos and just seeing you guys. It seems like the bond was there, and you guys were feeding off each other to make each other better. Like I said, even the guys who were maybe at 7, 9 that were maybe like 16-minute 5K guys ended up like going under 15 minutes by the end of the year just because they were so, because of training and just getting, I'm sure just everybody else was just encouraging that as well. So,
Yeah, another aspect was that San Jose State is a Division 1, but
yeah,
compared to other Division 1 programs, they have more resources. Maybe it's
yeah,
just Pac-12 is different, uh,
totally.
or private schools. But I think we were in a way underdogs in the D1, And so I think we were just like hungry to try to prove ourselves.
Yeah.
That's
That's great, man. So let's talk about just like Western regionals. So for the people that don't know, I mean, you go to conference and then you go to West regionals, which it's a D1. So this is D1. You're competing with all the top D1 schools in the West region. San Jose State, as we said, finished 11th place. But you got to really finish in the top. I forget what it is, top 5 or top 3 to make nationals as a team. So Jose, you had to make it as an individual, and even still, if you would have had a great race and finished in the top 50, you would have probably still been happy with that. I don't know if you would have, but it would have still have been an amazing time. You go out and you run like 29 under 30 minutes, so 29:54 for 10K, and you finish 8th overall behind I'm talking like top talent. We're talking Stanford, Oregon, like top guys. So what was that like? Like just going into that race, like the culmination of how do you think you peaked at the right time for that race?
yeah. So before that race, the regional prior to that, the regional race before that, I finished 67th overall.
Yeah. Okay.
As a freshman, and then that year, my second year of college, I think my training, I still did part of like I followed Coach Wick's training, but I still included my dad's training system. So I was still doing like jump rope on the side. I was still doing
Nice.
hurdle mobility. I was doing. I wasn't necessarily doing too many miles. I was staying at like 60s, like in the 60s
Mm-hmm.
mile per week.
Yeah.
So I think I just made my body stronger with training with like Coach Wick's training and then my dad's training on the side. Every race gave me more confidence as we went. Bronco Invitational gave me a lot of confidence. I ran 23:47 for the 8K.
Yep. That's
And
amazing.
then when we got to conference, I placed 14th overall.
Yeah.
So I didn't after conferences regionals. After conference, I
Yeah.
didn't think that I was like gonna make it. I didn't like. I just thought
Yeah.
regionals as a big race. That I just
Yeah.
have to go out and just see because I was young too. Uh,
Yeah.
before leaving to regionals, I asked my coach Wig. I asked him like, how do you make it a nationals? Like, what does it take? Um, he explained it where it was you have to finish top 20 or top 25 around there as an individual, and
Yeah.
then you had to place. So you have to be like top 4 individuals. So you have to get
Individually.
yeah, yeah. And so, but he told me yes, even if you get top 40, like we'll be happy with that. But
Yeah.
something
Totally.
in me wasn't like I was like, no, I was hungry to try. I don't know. So we went to the hotel. I was just thinking the whole time. We did our pre-meet. I remember Grant Fisher was there warming up with like Sean McGorty and like all these athletes. Edward Chester was in that
Ch-
race as well.
Yeah. I think he won the race, right? Did he win it that year?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was. And there was a lot of good guys, but I think when I went out to that race, my mind was like, instead of being nervous, I was more like, I gotta believe like I'm like them, like I'm at their level.
Yeah.
And so I felt so confident. Um, I was kind of nervous, so like I did feel like some aches from all the training
Yeah.
and
Nerves are good. Nerves are natural, man.
but eventually, so we got out to the race, and my team, everyone was fit. Everyone was pretty fit, so we knew we could run fast, but we just didn't know how fast or how like how how we could place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got out. I was like in the top like 30, but I was moving my way up. It felt
Yeah.
really comfortable. Like I think we went through the 8K in like 24, like
Yeah.
24, so around there, and it just felt so comfortable. Within the last, because it's like 2 mile loops. Within
Yeah.
the last lap, I was in like 15th place.
Yeah.
Uh, with I stayed in that place. Within like 800 meters to go, I was still like in like I think I passed like 2 people up. I was in
Yeah.
sixth, and it wasn't until the last 400 meters that I don't know something just another gear just came in me. I just felt like I could give another gear, and I started sprinting. I started giving it my all, and I passed. So it was Sean McGorty, Grant Fisher and another of their teammates. I think they were running together,
Yeah.
and then, there was a Cal Poly guy in front of them who was the last person to qualify. He was the fourth individual.
Yeah.
I caught up to all of them without. I didn't know. Like I didn't even know what place I really was because yeah, I just was in the heat of it. And so when I finished, I think my brother was like, "You finished eighth," and I
Yeah,
didn't
dude.
know if I qualified or not. I was just happy. I did see the time, and I was so impressed with my time. And then my coach comes up to me. He's like, "You placed what did he say? Like you placed 15th, right?" Because I think he just stuck
He
with.
just didn't really know.
He didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, he see the. And I was like, "No, I finished eighth." And he's like, he was so like surprised. Some people were saying that I had made it to nationals, but some people said that we still had to see.
Yeah.
So I didn't pay too much attention to it. I was like, it's just another race. If I don't make it to
Yeah.
national, you know. I didn't know where they were giving awards because I think you had to walk around to like get your medal. And
Yeah.
so like, there's some people that friends there wanting to take pictures. I was just with family, and eventually my coach calls. He's like, "Oh, you received a medal," and then he's like, "I think you made it to nationals." Um, but we had to wait till Monday for them to post the results or like to get it figured out, and eventually like
The official. Nice.
the fish and
That's
yeah,
awesome. I was actually watching that race because they have the live stream. So
yeah,
I was watching it, dude. It was like just a train of people. So I think like first place through 30th, it was like a 20-second spread just to from like first place to 30th place. So that just shows you how condensed that was. So you were just like in there like just moving up. I don't even know what that's like, but that must have been just like an amazing feeling. Do you think just being that compact, of course, like there's a little bit of jostling, but do you think just like being in there kind of just helped with that motivation, just to keep that pace going that you were running at?
it does, but it's also a strong pace. Like it's
Yeah.
still a fast
Oh
pace.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Sub 30 for the 10K. My mind was just like stay relaxed. Stay at one point
Yeah.
Chestrick was next to me, right next to me, and then he moved to the front. So I was like, just copy his stride. I was just trying to copy his stride. I was just trying to like make my
Yeah.
mind not think about the pain. And so I
Yeah.
think I enjoyed it so much and it didn't feel like too
Yeah.
hard of an effort.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, sub 30 on cross country is like amazing, and sub 30 on a track is amazing as well. So to do it in a cross country course, dude, that's good job, man. Really proud of just like representing, dude. That's amazing, dude. So
Thank
good work on that. So let's like shift gears back to where have you been out lately from a running standpoint? I know you're running for Renegade Elite, so what does that look like right now? Do you have any goal races? Is there any specific distances you're targeting? Yeah, where are you at from that standpoint?
yeah. So prior to getting contacted by Coach Ayla, she's the coach for
Mhm.
Renegade. I was taking a break. Like I had like some ups and downs, and I was
Yeah,
contemplating on whether I should continue running or not. But I always felt like it was like a calling. Like there was still
yeah,
more people in there. So she called me at the right time, and then I joined Renegade. It's helped me a lot in the sense that I'm getting back to my fitness. Her goal when we talked was to get me close to the PRs that I had in college for the 5K and 10K, and eventually try to surpass those. Um,
mhm,
I've always wanted to qualify to the Olympics. That was one of my big goals, one of the reasons why I continued to run in college. The pandemic, I feel like, affected the process a little bit because my last track season in college got
yeah,
canceled. But now with Renegade, I've been able to race some road races. I tried some new events like the half marathon. I tried the rock and
mhm,
roll half marathon, and it was
yeah,
it was a pretty interesting event, but it
yeah,
was fun. And now I took a little break because I've been training since the summer, and then I didn't really take a big break or a break at all until like 2 weeks ago. So I took a break, and then now I'm back racing. But before taking a break, I competed at the Cal Berkeley opener.
yeah,
So I a 3K there, and I ran 8:46. So it's just been a consistent improvement. Now
yeah,
I'm training again. I'm trying to see if I can get fit enough to race some track races by the end of the track season. But if if that is possible, then I will, and then if not, then I'll just keep training till the summer to maybe run 4th of July race, the 5K or wharf to wharf, and try to place higher.
Yeah. Yeah, Warp to Warp will probably. I feel like Warp to Warp is a good one because there's a lot of top talent out there, and I mean, I feel like you could really still mix it up at that distance because it's about a little more than a 10K, right? Like slightly
No,
more
that's
than
like
10K.
6 miles, just six,
Oh,
six.
it's 6 miles. Okay, for some
Yeah,
reason I thought it was slightly more. Okay, so it's
yeah.
a little under. Okay,
Mhm.
nice, cool, man. Well, yeah, I look forward to watching that journey. It sounds like you're still dabbling and just like trying a little bit of everything right now, kind of picking up where you left off. So yeah, that's awesome, man. So let's shift gears, like a little few closing questions. So it seems like, obviously running has always been there since like you've been in middle school and you came over here to Mexico. So running has always been a kind of constant in your life. And you said like you felt like there was a little bit more, so you picked it up. So what has running meant to you just as an impact in your life as a whole? Like how does that affect how you translate that to your real life?
Yeah, I think running has created a lot of skills in me and characteristics, is further developed characteristics that I probably wouldn't have developed as much without running, in the sense that like discipline, determination, having that drive to want to achieve something. That's something since I was younger, my dad was like, no, you have to go all the way, like try to achieve it. Don't, not just because it gets hard, you stop or you give up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, I'm still running. I'm still trying. I feel like there's potential. But then that helped me also with my education. Still completing my assignments in college and getting through all the way through graduation, and now even with work, with what I have planned, and then coaching. So where I coach, I'm coaching about 170 kids at the school for track. It's like lower school. It's like fourth grade through eighth grade. So
Yeah.
that's another challenge because it's a lot of kids, and
Yeah.
I always try to help them out as much as I can. Try to be the best, like do everything efficiently. And so with running, I think it's just my mindset has also grown a lot. Like it's
Yeah.
so hard for me to. I've had my tough moments, but it's hard for me to stay down. I've always
Yeah.
brought myself up, um, and I think in general, like it helps you be more open, more outgoing, more communicative,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think the running community helps a lot.
It does. It does. I love that you say that because I kind of find similarities in that where, I'll step away just from work if I'm feeling flustered or if I'm just a little stressed out, and I'll go and I'll figure stuff out. I just go out for a run and I figure stuff out. Or if I just need a little bit of motivation, like if I've ever been in a low point and I just don't even know like what that low point is, maybe it's just not eating healthy, or maybe it's like having a couple too many beers at one point. I just need to figure my life out. I'll just go for a run and like I'll kind of cleanse myself both mentally and physically. And it's just kind of always been there to keep me in line and just keep my eyes on just, what my goals are that I really want to achieve out there. So yeah, thank you for that. I'm glad we see that in the same way. So we'll end like this. What is the biggest joy or joys? You could even share more than one. What kind of joys does running bring you? So I know it helps you with your hard work and focus and discipline. Are there any joys that you think it brings you?
Yeah, there's a lot of different types of joy that it brings. One is just being healthy. I feel like being
Yeah,
healthy,
of course.
active, is a joy that you wake up, you know that you're not putting yourself into having like, or just being unhealthy in general. You're not living, because I feel like being an athlete, it's a overall thing where you don't, you know, there you can choose to sleep late, you can choose to not eat well, you can choose to, I don't know, be partying every weekend. But I think
Yeah,
with that discipline that comes with it, you have to run the next morning. You have to run later in the day. So you do stuff throughout your day that allows you to continue running, to continue training. So, and with that, you maintain yourself in a healthy state. I think just it brings you a lot of happiness. Um, Being able to achieve a certain amount of miles, being able to progress in competitions when you achieve a goal, when you like a certain time or a place that you want to achieve in a race. I think it brings that joy of like, okay, I did it. I was able to do it. My hard work paid off. But then also, if you don't achieve your goals, like if you don't run the time you wanted or the place you wanted, I think it's like a learning point. So it's like you don't see it as a downside. You see it as okay, I can do better the next time. So I think those joys just go hand in hand and they add up and just maintain that happiness in you.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah. Love to see it, man. And like I said, you've been like one of the most humble, well balanced, just people that I admire just growing up, just of how your approach to life is. You've been a big inspiration to me. So, dude, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you, dude, and I look forward to just continue to follow your journey and things like that. So appreciate
Thank
it.
you for having me.
All right, man. Vamos.
Take care.